Morning. Week 10 of the garden, 2020. We got a special guest with us today. All right, week 10, as I mentioned, we're going to walk through the garden again. We're going to take a closer look at some of the stuff. We're going to talk about like where our garden is right now and where I would expect it to be, some of the problems that we are having again. Yeah, so let's start with our tomatoes. So our tomatoes are monstrous. They're getting huge. As you can see, like the cages are, it's just flowing over the top of some of the cages that are obviously too short. And look at that, just crazy. So I built some extra trellises, some other pieces of wood and attached it to the cages so I could pin some of the branches up, but they're still growing past that. So this one's at least 7 feet tall. As you can see from the beginning of the season, we pruned everything up, cut stuff off down, cut the branches, low branches off, stopped pulling all the cut the suckers off. When we started to get, and I may have mentioned this in the last video, but when we started getting the blight that we were getting from too much water and from the soil, I stopped pruning and I stopped picking off suckers. I stopped doing anything, and I just was like, okay, we're going to pin these things up and let them grow as freely as they can so that we can try and either compensate for the yield that we were going to lose because of the blight and see what we're going to end up with. So the plan seemed to work a little bit well, I guess. I've got some of these things pinned up so tight that they're not a lot of airflow getting through, so I will try to loosen these up a little bit, but just want to talk about some of the tomatoes and the varieties that we got coming in. We have our San Marzano, which is, I don't know if they're true San Marzanos, of course, but they are San Marzano nonetheless. They're a plum tomato, much like the Romas. They like a very, let me see, they come from like the volcanic region of Italy, where they're used to a very like acidic soil. But here in Michigan, we don't have any of that, so we add some coffee grounds down in there, and hopefully they do well. Got a big yield on them. They're very strange. You can have some of these that will just, the plants will take off like crazy and they'll have nothing but fruit at the bottom, but then you'll end up with ones that start to flower at the very top too and will give us a big yield. So real happy about how they're doing this year. Hopefully they don't get that black rot spot at the bottom that we used to see in the past. So and if we start to see that, we'll pull some of those off. But as you notice, we still got blight going on here, so we got to take care of that and get that out of the garden. Our indigos, indigo tomatoes are awesome. So they're a little hard to tell when they're ready to be picked, but you can see the underside. So if the underside starts getting red and not yellow, see how it's still, green. It's still green, so those are nowhere even close. They get like a crimson color on the bottom. And let's see if I can find one without making one fall off. So they will go from like a full purple to a crimson on the bottom. So pull the tag. So Indigo Rose. Look at those little suckers, man. They are like almost black as night. But this one's done fairly well. Not as much fruit on here as I would have expected from this plant. I didn't really it just kind of grew real slow. I don't know what the deal is on it, but the rain that we received in the past 3 days, which is why, again, I want to mention I'm making this video late, like the weekend's already passed, but it was raining so much. Look at the stress on this caused these tomatoes. We're going to see a lot of them split, and when we get split open and we get over to the orange currants over there, we'll see kind of the devastating effect that the rain has caused. But yeah, these are our Sweet 100s. We've got a whole row of Sweet 100s. They're doing excellent. Best part about Sweet 100s is the grouping and the bunching that's caused, and I'll show you like this right here, how they'll start to ripen from the top down. And hopefully we find a good spot, and so I can show you that. There's our cat. And these by far are my favorite. And I picked this thing earlier as my favorite plant of the garden for the year. These are the pear tomato. Hold on. What are we calling the pear drop? Yeah, pear tomato, pear drop. They're awesome. People love the way that these taste. They're a very sweet taste, no tartness to them at all. Maybe a surprise to you guys, but I hate tomatoes. Hate the way they taste. I've never eaten one, and I never will, because I just do not like them. I've tried them, just not for me. But yeah, these are beautiful. This will get a ton of fruit, and look at that up through the branches. It's doing really well. And then we have this whole row is just all pear tomatoes. So let's take a look at what we got here. As you can see, it's the stress that's happening on these tomatoes. This was supposed to be a Super Sweet 100. It came in a Super Sweet 100 pack. That is not what we got here. So I don't know what these are. They look like beefsteak, probably what they are. More than likely, that's exactly what they are. I don't eat, or I should say I don't eat any of them, but we don't normally eat the beefsteak, so we'll give those away. And then right in the middle of the garden, we have a sunflower popping up. It's been here since the beginning. We've let it take off, let it grow, haven't bothered it, and we'll continue to let it sprout here. And we have hops on the ground. I don't know if we'll get any buddings from any of those because I haven't strapped them up or anything like that, but we've got some hops in the garden. More Sweet 100s, and look at those tipping over. We've got to straighten that out. More pear drops. I don't know if I mentioned in past videos, but we have 84 tomato plants. Close to probably 20 different varieties. This is just 3 right here that I'm showing you at the moment. Another one of those beefsteaks that got in there. But yeah, oh, here it is. Here's a good shot of the way that the drops happen on the Sweet 100s, how they grow. It's really cool. And yeah, we got to get in here and clean up some of this blight. More pear drops, more Sweet 100s, more San Marzanos. Got quite a few of those. I'm going to go over here. What do we got here? These are the sweet seedless. So apparently these do not, I've never grown these before. Just happened to get a hold of these. Looks like they're going to be a smaller tomato. Look really cool. But sweet seedless. So I'm assuming there's a lot less seeds in those. We got our globe basil. Let's see, what is this one? Let's peek around here. This is a plant with not a lot of fruit on it. What is this? I don't know what this is. You know what? I think this is the mortgage lifter. These are the mortgage lifter tomatoes. Never had those before either. We'll check those out. More Sweet 100s. And a cat. And more. I think these are Sweet 100s as well, or a variety of such. Hold on, let me see. No, they're black cherries. Nice. So these will start to turn. I think we have black cherry over here too. Yep, that's what these are. So we got 2 black cherries, which are, look at them, they're starting to get really nice. Let's see if I can focus in on there. Again, sorry about the blight. I need to get all this stuff picked off and taken care of, but a lot of fruit on this plant, so that's really good. Over here we have the Valencia, which they turn out to be like a yellow orangish tomato. This is one of the ones that the little muncher ate down to almost bare bones when we first put it in, so we just kind of hope for the best on it. Another one, Sierra Valencia or mortgage lifter, and then this is, I think this is one of the mortgage lifters too as well. Look how big these, man, look at that. The size of your fist. These are going to be like pound and a half tomatoes when we're done. Chocolate stripey, I believe these are. No, I don't know what these are, but look at that. It's a triple tomato. I wish I knew what some of these, I try and keep as much attention to what I have, but I lost my sheet, my plant sheet, and I can't find it. And we did move some of these around on the border, so it's kind of a not sure exactly what we had, and then not all of them had tags. So this whole front row here is kind of a mystery in a way. this one, I thought we had tags on this one, but this looks like these are a smaller variety of tomato. I'm not sure what they are. Our habaneros, I'm sorry, not habaneros, these are our Tabasco. And look how they're growing in right there. Yeah. Doing good. And I dropped the phone. Great. All right. Hopefully that's not upside down now. And then we have our mini bells, which looks like we got one on here, a couple on here that need to be picked. Look at that. Little mini bells. I had one of those last night. They were awesome. I had a couple on here. I got 3 on there that need to be picked. Their jalapenos are just going nuts. Got to get a bunch of these off too. I added a couple jalapenos to some of the pickling that we did last week. What do we got here? What are these? These are Cherokee purples. Look at that. That's cool. Look at the coloring on that. Another Cherokee purple over there too as well. That might actually some of those are too as well. And we've got orange peppers over here. What else? Oh, Carmens. So these are starting to turn. Look at this. These Carmens are huge. Look how big they are. They're starting to turn at the bottom. They're like bigger than your hand. Some regular green peppers, red peppers. Those are all doing awesome. The biggest pepper yield we will have this year to date for the past 4 years. We actually are getting peppers. And then let's talk about why we still have zucchini coming in. Look at that. Normally around this time of the year last year, these zucchinis were done. I mean, they were done producing. They were starting to die. I don't know why they're still alive. We still got a lot of zucchini on here that we're going to be pulling off. The blossoms have really cut down though, so we know that they're going to start running their course. But I think we pulled a bunch off yesterday too as well. So let's take a look, see if we can find any more zucchini. What we got here? I know there are some in here. We were just looking at them. But I think, oh look, 2 big ones back there. Look at that, huge. Got to get those off there. And there's a couple more. Oh, there's a hidden one I see. Zucchinis are the weirdest thing. You can look right at a zucchini and completely miss it. Like I'm just looking like, oh, there's one. And I was standing right on top of it. Oh, look at that. Some good ones in there. All right, we got to start getting these off. I think one more week, so by week 12, all of our zucchini will run their course and be done, and I'll probably start yanking the bushes out. One of the things John noticed the other day is we got a mole somewhere, and I keep stepping down in places and sinking in a little bit, and we've got a little bit of mole action. So we got 2 tiny Tims. Not a fan of this plant at all. I don't like the stubby determinate plants because they just are messy, I guess. I don't know. They hold a lot of water. They bunch together really tight, so I probably won't do these again next year. And then we got Amish paste, which are doing pretty well. These 2 Amish paste, and followed by the 4 Amish paste over there, which are doing good. What are these? Chocolate stripey here, and probably chocolate stripey over here too as well. Oh no, these were, I don't even know how to pronounce this tomato, so I'm not even gonna try. AZYTO something. I don't know what the pronunciation is of it. But what are these? We have, I can almost not read them. Chadwick. I know I can almost not read it. Chadwick something. They're a smaller plant. I have seeds from my own. These started from seed. These have done an amazing job. So like big props to M.I. Gardner on his seeds, and they've just like done awesome. I am so happy with them. And we got some, what do we got here? Some pink ox hearts. I think that's what these are. These 2, yeah, because they got the, they go down to a point on some of them. Man, look at the size of these things. Look at these guys. They're just gigantic. And that's a merged tomato there. But, man, these are doing really good. Besides the blight, like I mentioned. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. It just makes me so angry. And then we have our orange currants, which the rain has really, and I'll show you what it's done on the ones that were like getting towards ready the past 2 days. And I'll just pull some off because they are, I'll show you what we got going on here. Look at that. This is what the rain has done. Just split them. Because these are so small, and they got a pretty thick skin, but they just got wrecked by the rain. So hopefully it dries out a little bit this week. Doesn't look like it actually will, but there are 8 plants, I think, orange currants. I really wanted to plant these and see how they were going to go because of their size and just kind of uniqueness of the tomato. I think it's one of the smallest varieties of tomatoes, and you can see there's still a ton of blossoms on that are going to turn into, I mean, this will yield probably in the thousands. Oh, excuse me. Expecting one more. And then we've got some Cherokee purples here. Our basil, look at that. The basil is just amazing. So Jennifer hopefully will get out here before these basil plants start to turn at all, or get any cuts of any frost or anything, and start just pulling off them, either drying them out or making a pesto and freezing it. Chocolate stripey agains. I'm not sure what those are. I'll have to look at the label. But all right, here's what we want to talk about really quick is the cucumber situation. As you can see, it's ending. Like, either the cucumbers have gotten the bacterial wilt from the cucumber bugs, or they're just running their course. Like, I think I'm going to pull the last of these cucumbers off that we have. These are the English style ones. And I'm just going to pull the plants up and clear the land and let the weeds take over probably in this area maybe. But more sweet, another individual sweet 100 there. I planted that there at the beginning of the season because the cucumber did not take. But yeah, look at, we're almost done with the cucumbers, and I'll just clear this out probably this weekend. And then we have our pumpkins, which we're doing phenomenal. I have a lot of mildew on these plants. I got to take care of this. I've been putting it off, and it's totally my fault. But we'll take care of it. Cucumber plants. I'm sorry, zucchini. This rogue zucchini plant over here that is ready to come off and get out of the garden. Our melons. 2 of the melons in there fell off, so I got them at home. They're ripening up really good. These pumpkins, just look at the size of that. Look at the size of that pumpkin. It is huge. That is just nuts. And then this one too as well. John planted a couple different variety of pumpkins in here, so I really don't know what we're getting unless I can get the tags. But some of the pumpkins got the wilt. They're dying out. We've already got pumpkins that turn. Look at these guys. They're not going to make it to October, obviously, but it was a fun little experiment. I think we're going to start a month later next year. Look at the sunflowers that John planted. Like, that's 8 feet tall at least right there. And then we have our ground melons, which have taken over this whole area. Look at that. That melon's phenomenal. I'm not a huge fan of cantaloupe, but I'll definitely be trying these because we grew them. And there's a couple in here. They're all hidden throughout the whole area in here. You're going to find some just all over the place. Our green bean situation. So green beans have kind of run their course. Look at, they're starting to brown, and we're getting less and less green beans every single day. Cucumbers are drying out. Like, they're just done too as well. You know what? I kind of gave up on them. It's my fault, but is what it is. The stuffer orange, or the yellow stuffer tomatoes that we have here, not liking these. They are rotting at the bottom for some reason. We talked about the Amish paste, obviously. We talked about, man, this video is going on for like 20 minutes. The end of our cucumbers. I think we did harvest of all the cucumber plants for pickling cucumbers, which we started some at home. We got over 100 pounds of cucumbers for that. What do we got here? Chadwick, some more Chadwicks. Chadwick cherries, and I don't know what that one is, but bunching tomatoes doing great. Kale and other stuff, going to start pulled the one fennel out last week and gave that to somebody. And we got some onions that are going to need to come out pretty soon, and we have our carrots. And then I think that Paw. Yeah, he wants to go home. I think that pretty much covers it. His name's, well, hey, Pawpaw. His name's Big Paw. It's our cat. He is 16 years old, going on 17 this year. He's an old man, but he still gets around quite well. What else do I want to talk about? I think that's about it. Next couple videos we'll talk about clearing out the garden, getting rid of some of the stuff that we have, things that we might do next year, things that we might not do next year. So, and then I'll do a video, I promise. I keep putting it off, but I'll do a video on the bees at some point. So, all right, we'll talk to you later. You guys have a great day. We'll catch you next weekend.